I was late to a meeting that didn't matter when I saw her on the steps. Rain turning her pink dress, the color of sidewalk gum suitcase, burst open like a secret someone didn't want to keep. I parked, walked up, and there it was. A little girl whispering please to a locked door, while a woman with perfect hair smiled like this was all some tedious chore. I picked up a one-eared teddy brushed off the gravel, put it back in the girl's arms. Then I knocked once, calm on the outside heart, kicking a hole in my ribs. The door flew open. Brent Haynes stood there, red-eyed, shirt half-tucked. Whiskey breathing for him, Sloane Keating leaned on the frame, hand sliding down his sleeve like she owned the hinges. "Keep moving," Brent said. "This is my house, my family." And I said, "My name's Evan Cole. Your wife asked me to look out for Lila if anything ever happened." And at her name the kid looked up, freckles and rain, and that brave stillness kids learn when adults are not safe. Sloane rolled her eyes. "He's trespassing, Brent, close it." And right behind them I saw two suitcases, one child-sized with a little heart. On the tag like a threat wrapped in ribbon, and something in me that grew up in group homes. Just quit being polite. I crouched to Lila's level, told her I had blankets and cinnamon toast and no yelling allowed, told her she could decide where to be tonight. And after a long look at the door, she set the choice down between us like a coin and picked my hand. The door shut behind us with that gavel sound. Neighbors blinked behind blinds, because fear makes a street quiet, and I buckled Lila into my car while the rain talked to the hood, and I tried to remember how to breathe. On the drive downtown, I told her the short version of my origin. Bounced through foster homes, learned how to make toast when the pantry was empty. Built a software thing in a borrowed garage, sold it. Now people use words like philanthropist because they don't know where to put a kid who made it out and still remembers hunger like a first language. "Your mom gave me a break when nobody had the time," I said. "She told me if life ever gave me pockets big enough, I should carry someone else." And Lila asked without looking up, "Do you make toast good?" And I said, "Ridiculously good, illegal levels of cinnamon." And there it was, the smallest smile like a pilot light catching. The doorman took her suitcase without questions. Anita had the guest room warm and a little moon lamp glowing. Lila barely ate. She kept smoothing the teddy's ear and glancing at doors like they might grow teeth, and I told her, "The hallway light stays on the bedroom door, stays cracked, and in this home nobody raises their voice, you know what I mean." While she slept, a different scene played out across town. Sloane met a fixer named Travis in a Fremont bar, where the whiskey is too expensive for how dead it tastes. She slid an envelope across the wood. Brent signed something with that half-mast. "Look, grief wears when it gets lazy," and in the corner, Detective Maya Rangel wore a ball cap, and Patience capturing what needed to be captured. Yeah, that happened. By morning I had the kind of team you get when a puzzle box spills, and somehow the corners are already in place. My attorney friend, Kate O'Malley, called the clerk for an emergency order. Maya dropped a flash drive on my conference table and said, "Tell the girl she's safe." And we stopped at the house across from Brent's place to talk to the Brookses, who had tried to knock and got a door in the face for the trouble. Lila sat at their kitchen table, drew a house and 3 figures. The man turned away. Kids tell the truth on paper without meaning to. And we walked into King County Family Court, carrying a stack of facts and one small voice that deserved a microphone. Judge Elena Park ran the room with that steady-eyed kindness that scares liars more than shouting ever could. Kate argued for protection, with the rhythm of someone who knows the steps by heart. Travis tried to slide in a psychological report that said Lila fabricates, and the judge didn't need a full sentence to end that show. No license, no wait, move on. When it was Lila's turn, the judge leaned just enough to meet her eyes, told her honesty was enough, and Lila gripped the bear and said, "I asked to sleep on the couch." Aunt Sloane said once the papers were signed, I wouldn't live there anymore. Dad told me to go. I asked him to remember Green Lake and strawberry ice cream, and the paper boat he made me. He closed the door. And you could feel the room drop a few degrees because truth has weather. Maya cued the video, Sloane whispering, "Just sign once it's done, she's gone, you can finally sleep." Travis angling his jacket to block the bartender bank statements, showing the late mother's trust bending into a shell company with Sloane's best friend on the account. And before anybody needed a lecture, the evidence told its own story in a voice that doesn't waver. Sloane tried contempt first. Grief rearranges furniture. And Kate didn't even look up when she answered, "Grief doesn't push out children or empty accounts." And Brent finally lifted his head, voice scraped clean. "I was wrong. I thought if I got rid of the reminders the hurt might leave. It made everything worse." And Judge Park wrote something down, because justice takes notes when a human being says a real thing. The orders came like tide. The forged evaluation exposed the money trail admitted. Sloane cuffed into a future she authored. Travis sanctioned into silence. And then the only part that mattered to Lila. Temporary guardianship shared by Mr. Evan Cole and Mr. Brent Haynes. The judge said CPS supervision therapy support. The court expects behavior, not speeches. And that sound filled the room, not applause, not sobbing, just a dozen throats letting go of a weight at the same time. The next months weren't cinematic, they were better. They were boring in the brave ways that make kids safe. Brent showed up early to meetings with the social worker, held his coffee with both hands, so he wouldn't fidget, quit drinking one hard day at a time, and left a chipped coin on the desk, like proof asked for extra shifts at the woodworking shop, so his hands could remember, they make things not damage. Lila saw Dr. Ree, and at first she only drew boats and porches and doors. Then she tested longer sentences, then she asked for cinnamon toast every Thursday, because Thursday was Brent Day, and rituals help more than pep talks, and I set up a small foundation in her mother's name to cover emergency care and legal help for kids who find themselves on steps that should not exist. In July, when Seattle apologizes with a week of perfect evenings, we met at Green Lake. Lila wore a white dress and a scab like a badge. She ate strawberry ice cream so carefully, it felt ceremonial. Brent walked up with a folded receipt and his coin. "I don't expect forgiveness," he said, stopping where she could choose distance. "I'm learning sorry is supposed to happen on a schedule. Not just once I will be where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be there." And Lila pulled the teddy from her backpack and held it out like a contract. "You can carry him for a while, so I know you're carrying me right. But it's a loan if you miss, I take him back." And Brent took the bear like it weighed a full history. "Deal," he said, and we folded a paper boat and set it in the water and watched it make its small way toward nothing and everything. Here's the twist. I didn't see coming until it stood on my porch. A month later, Brent asked for a trial. Saturday picnic, unmonitored. Yvette ticked her boxes, called Dr. Ree, asked for my read, and the foster kid in me narrowed his eyes at the horizon, because worst case loves to hide there. But the man I am had watched steady steps stack up into a path, so I told the truth. I believe in supervised steps turning into unsupervised Saturdays, when the calendar and the kid both say yes. I trust Lila's instincts, and I trust Dada, and I'll be 10 minutes away with a full tank. And the picnic was uneventful in the best way. Watermelon stains, a bandana prize from a 3-legged race, a dashboard photo of a seat-belted teddy, and later that week, a nightmare that had me back in the hallway while the moon lamp painted a little lake on the wall, and I thought about vows keeping watch. People like tidy morals. I get it. But life likes to leave the last inch of ribbon untied, so you have to think about it, so here's where I leave you. Does a parent who closed a door get to open it again? How many chances are justice and mercy supposed to hand out when a child is the collateral damage is shared? Guardianship, a soft landing, or the right kind of hard lesson, you know what I mean. If this story grabbed you, talk to me. Tell me where the win really happened. The gavel, the video, the day a man cried without permission, the teddy buckled in, or that tiny smile over cinnamon toast. Tell me if Brent deserves Saturdays or if Thursdays supervised is as far as he should go. Tell me the worst thing you saw grown-ups do and the best thing someone did to undo it. Drop your judgment, your mercy, your evidence, and if you've got a story about a door that opened or slammed, write it here. We're listening.